Before you throw away your eggshells, watch this. This shell you normally throw into the bin is actually a concentrated source of calcium, but please, don't just grind eggshell and start eating it. Before you start grinding your eggshells into your food, there's an important preparation step. You need to do it first. Today, I'm going to show you how I prepare eggshells and how to calculate what you're actually getting, how much calcium is actually in it, and several practical ways you can use it in food. I'm Dr. Winnie, a herbal practitioner and consultant public health pharmacist. Here, I share practical, evidence-based health and wellness information to help you make better decisions about your health. So, let's get into it. Eggshell is made mainly of calcium carbonate. Research has found that eggshell powder contains roughly 38 to 39% calcium by weight. That means 1 gram of eggshell powder can contain roughly 390 milligrams of calcium. But remember, calcium content is not the same thing as saying everybody needs to take eggshell powder. Your total calcium requirement depends on your age, diet, and health. This is why we don't simply collect the shells, grind them, and eat them. Eggshells can become contaminated with microorganisms, including salmonella. So we need to prepare them properly. First, remove all the egg contents. Rinse the shells thoroughly under clean running water. Make sure your hands, utensils, and working surface are clean. Next, we boil the eggshells. Bring the water to a proper boil and boil the shells. This heat treatment step is part of the sanitation process. After boiling, drain the shells and place them on a clean tray. We need them to become completely dry before grinding. For a controlled household method, you can dry them in a low oven at about 60 degrees Celsius for approximately 90 minutes, or until they are thoroughly dry. Now the shells are completely dry, grind them very finely. We want a fine powder, not sharp pieces of eggshell. And this is where I want you to stop guessing with spoons. If you really want to know how much calcium you're getting, weigh the powder. If the powder contains roughly 38 to 39% calcium, then 1 gram gives roughly 380 to 300 milligrams of calcium. So the amount of powder matters. That's why a small digital kitchen scale can be much more useful than simply saying, take 1 teaspoon. Now please listen carefully. I'm showing you how much calcium is contained in the powder. I'm not telling everybody to take a particular amount every day. Your calcium needs depend on your age, your diet, and your health. And if you already take calcium supplements, have kidney disease, kidney stones, high blood calcium that affect calcium metabolism, speak with your healthcare professional before using concentrated calcium powder. If you came here from my short, this is the part I couldn't fit into that video. Here, I've shown you the complete preparation, the calcium calculation, the food safety steps, and several ways you can use the powder. So watch the full video to the end, because there's an important part about who should and should not use concentrated calcium powder. So when is paying attention to calcium particularly important? As we get older, because our bones naturally become more vulnerable to bone loss. So getting enough calcium now becomes important for maintaining healthy bones. For adults, the recommended daily intake is generally around 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams depending on age and sex. Adults over 70 generally need about 1,200 milligrams a day. It is especially important to pay attention to calcium intake. If your diet is low in calcium-rich foods, if one is at risk of osteoporosis, or if a healthcare professional has told you that you aren't getting enough calcium. And remember, calcium doesn't work alone. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium, so healthy bones need more than just calcium. So the question isn't simply, should I eat eggshell powder? The better question is, am I getting enough calcium, and is this something I actually need? And if you discover that you need more calcium, eggshell is an interesting food-based source because the shell is largely made of calcium carbonate. Food should generally be the first source of calcium, and concentrated calcium supplements aren't something to take blindly because excessive intake can cause problems, and calcium can interact with some medicines. Now comes the fun part. How can you actually use eggshell powder? You can incorporate a properly measured amount into foods such as pap or another porridge. You can also incorporate it into foods like yogurt or a smoothie, provided the powder has been properly prepared and measured. Eggshell powder has also been studied as a calcium fortifier. It can be used in foods such as bread, and other baked products. So you don't have to put it in pap if you don't like pap. There are different ways to incorporate calcium-rich eggshell powder into food. Now, here's where we separate science from social media claims. Calcium is important for maintaining normal bones and teeth. And researchers have actually studied eggshell calcium in humans. One randomized study in postmenopausal women found that an eggshell powder and vitamin D fortified food helped reduce loss of bone density. This was shown at the femoral neck over 6 months. This food helped reduce bone density loss, but that study used a specific fortified food containing both eggshell calcium and vitamin D. So we cannot simply say that eating homemade eggshell powder will cure osteoporosis or make someone walk again. And please don't use eggshell calcium as a replacement for proper medical treatment if you have a diagnosed calcium deficiency, osteoporosis, kidney disease, or another medical condition. Please consult your doctor for proper treatment. Food can provide nutrients, but a medical condition still needs proper assessment. So the next time you crack an egg, don't look at the shell as just kitchen waste. It contains a surprisingly concentrated source of calcium. But the important lesson is this: don't just grind it and eat it. Prepare the eggshell properly, measure it properly, and understand what you're actually consuming. If you found this useful, subscribe to Dr. Winnie's Wellness for more simple, evidence-based wellness information. Until I come your way again, stay safe, stay healthy, stay informed, and remember, your health is your wealth. I'm Dr. Winnie, your herbal wellness practitioner. God bless you.